Hey, Laura J.E. Hamilton here with a message about a term you may or may not already be familiar with, and it is the Akashic Records. Now, what are the Akashic Records, and then what are three benefits of having me access yours are what I'm going to talk about in this message. So, the first is, what are the Akashic Records? The Akashic Records are essentially like an energetic database that contain all choices of all time, past, present, and future. Because time is not actually happening linearly like we think it is. It's all more like a layer cake, and it's all happening now. It's that multidimensionality, that parallel universes, all of them happening right now in the only moment that we get. That is really where the Akashic field exists. And you access the Akashic Records through the heart. And when you do, it's like entering into a library that has every single book on every single soul that has ever existed. And when you go in to access somebody's record, I for you or myself or anyone else, it's calling on your name at birth and present, if any different, your date of birth and your place of birth, as well as the information that I need in order to be able to access someone's record. And that's to make sure that I'm actually pulling your book out of the records as you know yourself to be in this lifetime. And then going in there, I can actually find out different blocks or restrictions that may be keeping you from being able to fully express your divine nature in this lifetime, because your soul's like, hey, remember when you did that? Don't do that again. But putting energy into don't do that again is actually calling your attention to that which you're not supposed to want to do again. So it's actually counterintuitive and a really important thing to remind yourself of regularly is that the universe doesn't differentiate negatives. It only gives you more of what you're focused on. So if you're focused on that thing you don't want, you're actually putting your attention on that thing that you don't want and are likely to attract it to you. And I created a video about my car Freddie, who is a Ford Fiesta. And of all the parameters that I specified before I found him, I got every single one of them, including not a Ford, because my family didn't drive Fords, or that was the story that I had told myself when I was specifying why I didn't want a Ford and why I would have preferred something like a Hyundai, which I'm quite fond of, or something of that nature, but instead, no, I got the Ford because the universe doesn't differentiate whether I say no Ford or yes Ford. It just hears Ford and says go. Be very specific when you're ordering from the Cosmic Kitchen is my lesson to you. Now, the other thing that you can also learn when I access your records and do a reading for you would be understanding which energetic properties you are most abundant in. And that's really by understanding your primary energy center, whether your soul chooses to be male, female, or androgynous, whether you have any soul specializations, of which we all have one or two, generally speaking. And then also white light, blue lights, periods of history acting as an ongoing positive influence, any mystery schools where you were empowered in a previous lifetime and then so that memory is being upheld as open to say, hey, remember when you were doing this kind of belief system, which is the BS that you run your life by? Yeah, remember all of these ideas to fit in because they worked for you back then. So the soul, your soul, is always trying to help you, and mine is always trying to help me by reminding us of things that can be helpful to us. It's just the soul doesn't discern good or bad. It just says, hey, this is notable, pay attention. So really discerning what is going to serve you, and then being very mindful of the stories that we tell ourselves. Because if you are caught in a really negative story, then you can easily get trapped into that downward spiral of negativity. I am just doing the best that I can. And that is what is most important for us to try. And that's my reminder to you before saying the third and final point that I wanted to share about the Akashic Records and why receiving a reading would be especially beneficial for you, I believe, and it's up for you to decide for sure, of course, is that it really gives you permission to be your authentic self. One of the things that I feel I am naturally gifted at and have honed through years of practice, training, and really being around exceptional leaders is the ability to let people be themselves. I don't come into my interactions with people from a perspective of wanting to solution your problems. Because what I believe is that you only have that problem because it was what allowed you to get the attention that you felt you needed in that moment. And now that that attention has been gifted and the need has been identified, then you can change the pattern by which you're getting your attention. So really getting clear constantly about what BS is ruling your inner realms, and then changing your thinking. And if it's stinking thinking, then pitch it out and grab a new diaper, man. The Akashic Records are absolutely a fundamental place to get soul level information about who you are and how to be able to be more you in this lifetime than ever before. If you are interested in a soul realignment reading, which is where I access your Akashic Records to get your soul profile information, telling you about which energetic properties you're most abundant in, and then also finding blocks or restrictions where your soul has had choices made in the past that is basically being upheld as open to remind you not to make those choices again. So what we'll do is identify what those blocks and restrictions are, how those patterns may be showing up in your present life, and then what a new response mechanism would be in order for you to get a better result than you have been getting by participating unconsciously in that creative, reactive process. So really helping you return back to your naturally creative self instead of the reactive one that potentially has been ruling the show for a long time. Because all of us are really reactive until we become creative. And that has to do with intention and also awareness, because we can't be aware until we're aware, right? So lots to think about today. And the soul realignment reading is $297 because I do put about an hour and a half into putting that reading together before you as a written write-up that you will receive by email, and then we'll really unpack it in relation to where you currently are and then where you want to be, so that we can really kind of move you into a direction that's going to really help you in creating the life that you are here to create. Now, if you are more focused on the creative side rather than the clearing blocks and restrictions side, then you can also choose to do a soul blueprint reading, which is really unpacking your manifesting blueprint. So there's 7 different creative spectrums that we create with, and by understanding where we lie on each of those creative spectrums and then how all of those spectrums play together to create our artist's personality, essentially some of us, most of us, don't think of ourselves as artists if we're not painters or sketchers or some kind of obvious artist. But the truth is that all of us are creating all the time, and that everything that we create is contributing to the body of work that we're leaving behind us. So really being intentional about what we're creating and about the legacy that we're leaving behind us really matters. And if you want to really understand your manifesting blueprint and then also apply it to your goals. I'll put that report together beforehand by accessing your records and then coming into the session, delivering it to you in relation to the goals that you set out beforehand so that you're ready and you can really get everything out of both sessions being an hour and a half. The blueprint reading is only $247 instead of $297 for the soul realignment reading, but the soul realignment reading takes me longer to put together. So those are two options. There's coaching as well if you want to gain both of those readings and then also work together in an ongoing basis for a couple months to really just get you going off on the right direction. I do have coaching available that you are welcome to apply for, and then we'll have a discovery session to see if there is a fit and whether I would be the best person to take you on that journey into yourself. And then I also have a pilot program that I'm really excited to launch, and it's going to be starting on July 9th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, that opportunity is really unpacking everything that I've been working on in the books that I'm still working on 2 years after I started out on the path of getting them out into the world. But in that time, I've come to such a different place that each time I've tried to get the book out, I've gained access to new information that has really helped me deepen my understanding. So Matt Kahn talks about the spiral staircase of awareness, and it just being like you just move one notch up, one level up, and it's just like you didn't move too far, but you can see it from an entirely different perspective from this level compared to the one before it. And so I've really been going up that spiral staircase, sometimes going down it, tumbling far and fast, but all of it, the entire time, it's just been absolutely incredible to go through the emotional high rise of awareness, like I pointed out behind, and experience the highs and the lows, and to be able to say confidently that we are the only ones that can save us from ourselves, and we are also the only ones that can give ourselves permission to be ourselves too. And so if you have a burning desire to be anywhere other than where you are now, and you are able to responsibly go and do something where you want to be more, then do it. You're not a tree. You can pick up your roots and leave. You can move. You are not bound to anything or to anyone. We come in this life alone, we leave alone, and everything in between is fill. It's all bonus. And it's also part of why you are here, why I am here. It's important as well. And we really have to get back to the fact that everything matters, including and especially our willingness to commit fully to the process of creating a life that we love living. That's a long message. And so I'm going to wrap up and simply say thank you for your time, energy, effort, attention, and that if you would like to make a reservation for either a reading, coaching, an oracle card reading, which I am also offering now too, or to be part of that pilot study program, then please reach out and let me know that you would like to be part of that, so I can send over an invoice so that you have some skin in the game, because it matters. Reach out and let me know how you want to work together, and I very much look forward to connecting with you to help you go deeper into yourself and to really give yourself permission to be all that you came here to be. Thanks so much. Laura J. Namaste. The light in me honors the light in you.